I'm getting a ton of questions from people asking what kind of wig should they pick, how should they pick it, what features matter, what's the best type of wig to pick. And guys, I think that all comes down to cap construction. What do you want from your wig? What do you want it to be able to do for you? What's the price point you're looking to stick to? So we're going to cover all of those things today, look at some cap construction on some wigs, and hopefully that'll help you better pick what type of wig that you're looking for when you're shopping. And before we get started, welcome to Get Wiggy with Bree. My name is Bree, and I'm excited for you to be here today. I'm excited to educate on this topic because I think that if you go in knowing what you're looking for, then you'll have an easier time picking a wig. I figured the easiest thing to do would be to start with the most basic cap and kind of work its way upwards, because that also follows the price point. So a more basic cap, you're gonna have a lower price point. And as you start adding bells and whistles, then the price point goes up, but it depends on what's important to you. So let's get started. Okay, so I picked this one because she is a more basic cap, but she is also one of the best-selling styles. This is Alva by Noriko, and she is actually a very popular wig. I'm gonna throw her on so that you guys can get a good idea as to what even a basic wig looks like. She is really cute. She's actually appealing to a lot of people, but let's talk about some of the features that make it basic. So for this style, you are not going to have a lace front. What that means is that a lot of wigs that have a more basic cap, they have bangs in the front to cover up the fact that you have a hard part here. So you are not going to have that natural looking hairline. You're not going to be able to pull it back off the face as easily with it looking more natural. It depends on if you want to rock a style with bangs, if you're looking for a more natural looking hairline, or if you're somebody who maybe you wear bangs like this anyways, and so this is a very natural look to you. So that is one of the features that you would find with a basic cap. Another thing you might find with a basic cap is that you're not going to have a natural looking part line most of the time. So let me get up close here. So when you get up close, you'll notice that we have a bunch of permatees here. Permatees are these short, crimpy hairs that are in the wig. I have wigs that have some permatees, some that have a lot, some that don't have a lot. And I have learned to love permatees, you guys, but it just depends on the wig. So with a basic cap, you're gonna get more permatees here. So you're not gonna have that natural looking part line. Let me take her off so that you guys can have a good idea as to what the cap looks like on a basic cap. When you look at the top here, you'll notice that this is all machine done. There's no hand tied areas. And so that's what makes this cap a little bit less expensive. You can whip them out a little bit faster. You can kind of get through it a little bit quicker, and then you can have a beautiful wig, but have it be a little bit less expensive. So this is where all the permatees would be. And then, you know, if you look at the wefting here too, so you have a completely wefted area, and there's also gonna be a little bit of permatees throughout the wig too, because that's what hides the wefts. You're not gonna want to have like a huge gust of wind or a leaf blower or whatever coming at your wig and showing, oh my gosh, I have wefts underneath this wig. No, you're going to want to cover up that wefted area, and that's what permatease does. It helps with the covering up the wefts underneath. And then as I kind of talked about before, you'll notice here, this is the very front, that hard part that I was talking about on the front of your wig. So like I said, if you pull back the bangs, you're not going to have that natural looking hairline. It's going to be a hard part just like this. So this is a pretty accurate depiction as to what a basic cap looks like, but let's move on up a little bit. All right, so next I'm going to show you one of my tried and true wigs. To be honest, she needs a little bit of help right now, but I love her so much, and I'll probably wear her until she is officially dead. But this is my current events wig. She, like I said, needs a little bit of work right now. But let me comb through her so you guys get a better idea of how cute she is. All right, so now that we have fixed up current events just a little bit, as I said, she's one of my tried and true. So the thing with current events that kind of gives her a couple of upgrades is, number one, she has a lace front. So as we kind of talked about on that basic cap, you're not going to have a lace front, so you're not going to be able to pull the hair back off the face. With current events, I can pull the hair back up off the face like this, or pull it back straight back that way, and you're going to have a natural looking hairline. You're going to have a wig that you can style it gives you just a lot more styling options. And so with that also, this wig does have a monofilament part. So wigs that have a mono part or a mono top, that will allow you to have a natural looking part line and be able to part the hair anywhere within the area. So when I take it off, you'll have a better idea of what this mono part looks like. But having a lace front and having a mono part, those are areas where people have hand tied and actually, you know, weave these little fibers in to have it, you know, be a more natural looking area, as opposed to a completely machine done basic top. This takes a little bit more time to complete, which makes it just a little bit more expensive. Is it as expensive as the last one we're going to look at? No, but it's I would call it mid-tier. So let's take this one off so we can get a good idea of what the cap looks like, and we can explain a couple of more things. So if we look at this, we can see, okay, we do have a lace front literally all the way from this ear tab all the way to this ear tab. So that, like I said, that's going to allow you to style this wig off of the face. You're going to be able to just have a lot more styling options. And then this is this mono part. So this one's pretty wide. And like I said, you can actually move your part line anywhere within this area. On a basic top, you're not going to have that option. This one is, I would say, like the next step up from a basic cap. It kind of has these nice, like, just a little bit of extra features. She's got some actual ear tabs with stays that are velvet. Like, there's some things that just like add to comfort and give you a little bit more options that you might like if you are looking for a wig. So now we've taken a good look at this one. Let's go to a hand-tied cap, because there's some features on that I think you might be interested in. All right, so this one right here is a hand-tied cap, and I'm gonna throw it on in a little bit, but I think the best way to show you the differences in a hand-tied cap are to actually show you the cap first. So let's get to that. So this is what a hand-tied cap looks like. And essentially when you have a hand-tied cap, that means that everything in this wig is sewn in by hand. And so that's what kind of hikes up the price, because wigs like this, they can take a person like up to 40 hours to make, because they are sewing in individual or a few strands at a time. And that takes a lot of time. So the differences between like a wefted cap and a hand-tied cap is, you know, the wefts are gonna have like a more swaying motion. You know, you're gonna have movement, your wig will move when you move, but this is gonna have a more natural movement, because every single one of those strands, because they are hand-tied, can go in a 360 motion as opposed to just swaying back and forth. So when we look at current events, when we look at her cap, we'll notice, okay, we have some bells and whistles, okay? We have this lace front here that'll give us a natural hairline. We have this part here that'll give us a natural part line, but you can only do it in this little section here. When we look at this hand-tied cap, gotta be gentle with her. I still love my current events. So when we look at this one, you're gonna notice you have a lot more options all over here. Like this whole section here, you can part it anywhere within this area. So that means that like you can pull it up off the face all here, you can part it anywhere you want to, and then all of this hair here moves so naturally. Same kind of thing though with that one. You're gonna have some velvet ear tabs. These ones also have stays. And then another thing to look at here is this is an extended nape here. So this is the part that's gonna go right at the base of your head. And some people, when they are wearing wigs, they're like, man, not having this extended nape, sometimes it just kind of makes it rub a little bit more. When you have an extended nape, especially a velvet one like this, and some of them have silicone and some of them, there's lots of different things you can get into, but this one is velvet and it's a little bit longer. So it gives you a little bit more room to get comfortable. It's a little bit softer. It just feels just a little bit nicer. Just that one little extra touch that you can get when you have a really beautiful, nice hand-tied wig like this one. So let me throw it on so you get a good idea of what it looks like. So put her on, fix her up a little bit. This is Willow. So Willow has, like as I mentioned, the hand-tied cap and the lace front and all of that. So when I pull Willow back off of the face, you can see like, okay, I can pull it back off the face wherever here and still have a natural looking hairline, which is a great feature. So I can, you know, like style it anywhere. And then when I move the hair back and forth in the back, let me show you really fast. You're not seeing any of those wefts that you might see if you have a wefted cap, because it's all hand tied into one cap. So if on this one the wind blows, you're not gonna have the same sort of like, oh my gosh, is my wig showing? Because all of those fibers are tied in one by one or a couple pieces by couple pieces to give it that really natural look. And with this one, I also mentioned that it does have a mono top. So what that means, like I said, you can part it wherever you want to. So right now I have a natural looking part line. But if, let's say I wanted to part it over here, I would still have a natural looking part line here. And so when we come down to the original question of like, Brie, what kind of wig should I pick? What features should I be looking for? What are things that if I don't have, I'm gonna miss? And I think it's all depends on what you're wanting from your wig. Are you wanting to have to style it, or do you want the flexibility to have to move things here or there everywhere? Are you somebody who wants to pull it off the face? Or are you somebody who's had bangs your whole life, so maybe having a basic cap that has bangs feels supernatural to you? So I think when it actually comes down to it, you need to evaluate what your wants are, what your needs are, what are things that you can't live without. And honestly, if it's your very first wig, are you somebody who's gonna need a hand-tied wig right off the bat? No. I started with a wig that was similar to my current events wig that just had a mono part and a lace front, and it had wefts, and I had all that I needed at that time. But you learn more, you figure out, okay, what do I wanna be able to do more? What other options are there out there for me? And I think it's great to experiment too. So figure out what you like, figure out what you do with your hair now and what you want to be able to do with your hair. I think that's the best part about wigs, you guys, is that you have so many options. Lastly, not that it's all about money, but guys, it does come down to price too. So what can you afford? What do you want to pay? And look, as I mentioned, the basic wig, because it has less bells and whistles, it's going to be a more reasonably priced wig. So you might end up spending like in the hundreds or even below $100 for a basic wig, and you can still make it look beautiful and nice, and you don't have to pay hundreds to thousands of dollars for a wig if you are fine with what the basic wig offers. Now, if you're wanting some more of those features, then all those features cost money just because they take longer to make. They afford you a few more options than if you didn't have them and you just went with a basic cap. So I think it depends on, what are your needs? How much are you willing to pay? There are so many factors in this decision, but I'm hoping that at least you have a basic understanding of how that cap construction does affect how you're able to use the wig, that maybe you can make a more educated choice. But I think that's pretty much it for today. So if you learned anything from this video and you're like, okay, like now I kind of have a better idea as to maybe what kind of features I want, what am I looking for, feel free to like, comment, ask me questions. I always will get back to you. I love hearing from you guys. I think it's so important to actually have like a back and forth discussion. So definitely comment, like, subscribe. I am so happy to have you here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.